Good morning. Play the game, man. You better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. Spicy, I ain't even had my coffee. I'm a brody in the morning, time to get it in. Good morning. Show you what I've been doing. They saying fools rush in, but I'm coming with a passion. I'm trying to get to know you while you thinking that I'm asking. I like to get it popping, cause my sound is supersonic. I done came so far. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Do some water on my face. Yeah, it's just another day in the Golden State. Ain't no tossing and turning, no time for a sauna. I know the best way to make it is to cut the drama. Let's go! And even if I fail, at least I was honest. See, I can only do what's in my power to do it. Look good is power if I use it like a fool. If I wanna make it to the top, I gotta study clues. Or I can sit back and just watch the news. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, happy Friday. I was born to be the winner, you can never stop me. Don't try to photocopy, you can never top me. I was born to be your winner, you can never stop me. Don't be wrapped up in your feelings, hey. Be careful when you flashing. And when you play the game, you better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. Hey, good morning, good morning. Don't be wrapped up in your feelings and be careful when you flashing. And when you play the game, man, you better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. It's getting too spicy. I ain't even had my coffee. I put my watch on, you know what time it is. I'm chasing my purpose in this music business. Let's get it in. I'm so focused on my mission. There's no competition, there's no excuses for opposition. One thing's for certain, I'm motivated to be in the kitchen. I gotta listen if I wanna make a difference. Cause what I'm doing can be lost in an instance. Now I'm making a living, so why the hell are they tripping? Is it because I'm the one that they see in their visions? I got a million different ways I can hit with precision. I know I'm gifted cause the way that I speak causes change. And even though it's hard, I stayed in my lane. Don't try to photocopy, you can never top me. I was born to be a winner, you can never stop me. Don't try to photocopy, you can never top me. I was born to be a winner, you can never stop me. Don't be wrapped up in your feelings and be careful when you flashing. And when you play the game, man, you better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. It's getting too spicy, I ain't even had my coffee. Don't be wrapped up in your feelings and be careful when you flashing. And when you play the game, man, you better know your options. Don't try to photocopy when you out here being saucy. It's getting too spicy, I ain't even had my coffee. Break it down now. Yeah, yeah, break it down now. Yeah, yeah, break it down now. Yeah, 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 don't be afraid. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again back. You know exactly why we are here. Don't be a photocopy, be yourself. You know exactly why we are here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Happy Friday to every single one of you. All right, let's go, let's go. Yes, don't be a photocopy, be yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't have time to be anything else. All right. Yes, and as you can tell, all right. Lightning does strike twice. All right, we done with this. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. What is today's date? Oh my gosh, August 9th. We have survived another week, all right? And I want to thank each and every single one of you, all right? So let's get started with today's show. But before we do, you know what we got to do? Let's take care of some housekeeping items, if you don't mind. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I am honest, all right? There's nobody more honest than me on social media, all right? You might as well pretend like I got my hand resting on a stack of Bibles. Shout out to G-Man. Thank you, G-Man. The second H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am humble, all right? I'm pretty nice, right, G-Man? I'm one of these nicer people on TikTok, to be quite honest with you, all right? But just because I'm nice, don't take that and don't think that I'm a fool, all right? I'm humble, all right? And what I mean by that is this. If I get it wrong, I really will be the first to apologize. But here's the thing. I haven't been wrong lately, all right? And that's just how the cookie crumbles. But if I were wrong, MAGA, trust me, I would apologize, all right? And then the last and final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because you guessed it, I am and will always remain the most handsome. Wow, you guys got a lot of energy today.
All right. So many of you are familiar with what we do over here on this side of town, on this side of TikTok. All right, I promise you. It's the same. I always cook the same. We hold our friends on the right, especially their orange, crooked, corrupt cult leader, Donald Trump. We hold them accountable for all of their dirty, disgusting. Hey, good morning, Zena. We hold them accountable for all of their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds, as well as their crimes. All right, and believe you me, those folks on the right, especially the MAGA Republicans that worship Donald Trump full-throated. Keep it clean now. Keep it clean. These folks seem to have hit the jackpot, right, when it comes to committing crimes. Every day you turn on your news. I figured it out. You know how they cry and complain about people coming into this country from the border? All that is a distraction from what they're doing. Right, Hammer? I see you in my chat, Hammer. You're saying Trump 2024. You know the rule. All right, I might select you, Hammer, and if I select you, you have to get in the box, or my moderators will put you in a straitjacket, all right? Because what I don't want is Trump supporters polluting my chat with lies and misinformation and disinformation. So yes, like I was saying, Hammer, a lot of you are the ones committing the crimes in this country and then turning around and trying to blame it on people of color, especially immigrants. And we're on to your little shenanigans, all right? So listen up, MAGA. If you are one of those folks, as my good friend Brother Swervin likes to say, you're lactose intolerant, meaning you're allergic to the facts, you might want to leave this live because it's going to get dangerously uncomfortable, all right? It is, all right? So go on before I ruin your breakfast, all right? But get this, I know you don't want to take my word for it, and you don't. But maybe you can listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here,
hi, Bamba,
then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, MAGA, you've had your warning. And if you're still here as this show continues, please do me a favor. Don't come into the box crying. Don't spam my chat with misinformation. Just sit your special behinds down and keep listening to this special broadcast. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is yesterday's total disaster. It was a total disaster. How many of you saw Donald Trump give that ridiculous press conference yesterday? All right, where he just spouted a bunch of lies. For those of you who don't know, Donald Trump trying to take a dig at Vice President Harris in terms of her ratings, he decided to go live on the campaign trail from Mar-a-Lago, which obviously is a sign that he's too old to campaign. He's too lazy to campaign. All right, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is Donald Trump being caught on his way out of the campaign, because you know how we've been saying he's too old and he really needs to step aside. I believe we're starting to see Donald Trump make those steps. Listen to what he was saying, and this is not everything, but this is just some of the things he said yesterday.
President, you have not had a public campaign event for nearly a week now. Tomorrow you'll be in Montana, which is not a swing state. Some of your allies have expressed concern that you're not taking this race seriously, particularly at a time where there is enthusiasm on the other side. Why haven't you been campaigning this week?
Because I'm leading by a lot, and because I'm letting their convention go through. And I am campaigning a lot. I'm doing tremendous.
Wait. Harris is too lazy to debate Trump. JPL. See, there you go again. I'm trying to be civilized this morning. All right, JPL, get in the box real quick. Let me ask you a serious question. Why would you come in my lie? Before I even get this thing off the ground, starting it off with a lie. JPL, come on up here real quick if you don't mind, all right? Because I can tell right now you're stuck somewhere. Stuck on something I even can't say on TikTok. This is what I'm talking about, JPL. You're too afraid to get in the box and back up what you're saying, so do us all a favor. Just be quiet and listen to your leader real quick, embarrass himself and tank his campaign, all right?
of taping here.
Let me start it all over.
Nearly a week now. Tomorrow you'll be in Montana, which is not a swing state. Some of your allies have expressed concern that you're not taking this race seriously, particularly at a time where there's enthusiasm on the other side. Why haven't you been campaigning this week?
Because I'm leading by a lot, and because I'm letting their convention go through, and I am campaigning a lot. I'm doing tremendous amounts of taping here. We have commercials that are at a level I don't think that anybody's ever done before. Plus, in certain cases, I see many of you in the room where I'm speaking to you on phones, I'm speaking to radio, I'm speaking to television. Television's coming over here.
Live.
Excuse me, what are we doing right now? She's not doing any news conference.
Wow.
You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference. And I'm sorry, we need smart people to lead this country, because our country's never been in this danger before, both economically and from an outside perspective. Russia doesn't respect us anymore. China doesn't respect us anymore.
I can't.
North Korea, Kim Jong-un,
Rick,
liked me a lot. He doesn't like this group.
how many people in the chat believe this guy and these lies he's saying? Does anyone out here believe what Donald Trump is saying right now? Because he calls this campaigning, by the way. All right, he, instead of getting out there and meeting with the American people, okay, I see. All right, I have a MAGA demon right now, and I've caught somebody. All right, let me see this MAGA demon. Conservative, what do you call yourself? Conservative. Let's go. Bring it up here, if you don't mind, conservative. Let's go. Come on up here.
We're in great danger of being in World War III.
Conservative retiree. So you believe Donald Trump? You believe
Kamala accepted?
Hey,
accepted the Fox News.
hey, listen up, you MAGA demon. You do not listen. You do not get the opportunity to get on my broadcast and then act like this is your broadcast. So I'm asking you simple questions. Why do you believe these lies Donald Trump is saying? You have no right to question Kamala Harris about a single thing when we are witnessing you and your friends engage in elder abuse. This is a 78-year-old. Do you get this?
Your 82-year-old fucking president.
Do you get what I'm saying? 78 years. He's a convicted felon. He's not listening, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, this MAGA demon cannot listen. He has no answers for why he's letting Donald Trump, 78 years old, convicted felon, found liable for SAing, hung out with Jeffrey E. Why are you putting this man through this? Sir, are you a Christian?
No, I'm not.
Okay, what are you? Okay. Okay.
Kamala.
Okay, so you're just gonna get it. You're just a liar, ladies. Look at her. You know what I'm going to do to you, ladies and gentlemen? Let's send this MAGA demon straight to hell. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get this show started off early with sending these Trump supporters straight to hell. Join me in sending that little conservative MAGA demon that he calls himself straight to hell. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving him a round of boos and shame.
I'm not happy here.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
You hear that?
As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Absolutely, I can send people straight to hell. You're darn right I can. And I send MAGA demons in this live every day straight to hell where they came from. All you Trump supporters are guaranteed to go to hell. Lake of fire. I promise you, all right?
No, after the convention, yeah, and I'm going out. Actually, I'm going out to certain places to help certain senators get elected. Not even for me. I'm trying to help when I go out to Wyoming or when I go out to Montana or I'm going to different places to help people. And
you know what? I'm going to stop this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop Donald Trump in the middle of all of his lies, and we're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes of this, all right? All right, because Lawrence O'Donnell yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, this man has his finger on the pulse of MAGA like no one else. And when he's on Donald Trump's rear end, He's really on it. So let's listen to what Lawrence O'Donnell had to say yesterday about this ridiculous thing Donald Trump did. All right, this is silly.
Repeatedly in 2016. It would, just like they all did repeatedly in 2016. It would be hard to find a sentence in what Donald Trump said today that did not include at least one lie.
Bingo.
Some of the networks tried to play catch up with fact checking after Donald Trump finished speaking, but that, of course, is way too late and utterly useless. No network even attempted to fact check every lie Donald Trump told. Every network has the capacity, especially with these wide screens we now have at home, to run a live scroll at the side of the screen, fact checking many of Donald Trump's lies. Not all of them, that would be impossible, but many of them as he speaks. For example, when Donald Trump said, quote, Kamala Harris is not smart enough to do a news conference, the networks could have simply put on the side of the screen, Kamala Harris is a graduate of Howard University and University of California Hastings College of Law.
Right.
Of course, Donald Trump proved once again today that he is not smart enough to do a news conference by saying something that was provably false in every response he gave to every single question.
You hear that, MAGA? So what Lawrence is pointing out is Donald Trump is never able to answer the questions that the media ask. All he does is ramble and lies. MAGA, do you understand why when you get in the box and you try to talk to us, we just drop you? Because you're doing the exact same thing Donald Trump is doing with the media. Not answering the questions, rambling and lying. And we are not going back. We're going forward. That means we're not going to allow you to do that. All right, so listen up. This is a lesson for you Trump supporters.
Most of those were knowing lies by Donald Trump. But many of the falsehoods Donald Trump spread today in his responses came from that vast well of stupidity that takes up most of his brain. The stupidest person who has ever won a nomination for president stood there in front of those reporters and said his opponent isn't smart enough to do what he was failing at right in front of those reporters.
How you gonna say Vice President Kamala Harris isn't intelligent enough to be the president while you, sir, were the one that got impeached twice and lost your re-election because of your inability to process information? See, that's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. Donald Trump is too old to be running to be president of the United States. He's telling on himself every single time he opens his mouth. Get him, Lawrence!
To make a bad news coverage situation worse, none of the networks, none of them, carried Kamala Harris's speech live after the Trump appearance. None of them. This network brought you the last few minutes of Kamala Harris's speech live, but was actually doing Olympics coverage when the speech began and kept doing it. And so, as a first order of business in this hour tonight, we will correct that mistake by presenting to you in full and unedited, as if live, everything that Kamala Harris said today in her speech in Michigan, which all of the networks knew was coming. They knew what time it was coming. They knew how to cover it live, and they didn't. After giving Donald Trump more than an hour.
Blackjack, sit your special behind down and come to me with answers, not questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a MAGA demon in the chat, Blackjack, who continues to act like he knows all the answers, but then always asks Zeus questions, all right, because he doesn't. Let's give him a round of boos and shame. Let's give Blackjack a round of boos and shame. You go look it up. You go look it up. Silence, Blackjack. I'm not talking about that. If you could do me a huge favor, Blackjack, use whatever brain power you have left right now, champ, and just concentrate on the topic that I'm talking about. See, that's the problem. It's like scrambled eggs with you Trump supporters. Your minds are scrambled, they're scrambled, and you're really struggling to pay attention. If this was college, Blackjack, I would have asked you to step outside into the hallway, perhaps because you're distracting the class, and come back when whatever you're on wears off. That's what I would have asked you to do. But this isn't college. This is TikTok. All right.
Of live coverage on all of their networks. It's 2016 all over again. The same mistakes are being made. I have never seen an industry slower at learning from its own stupid mistakes than the American news business.
Exactly.
And you cannot expect them in the next 89 days to figure out what they haven't been able to figure out in 9 years.
Here we go.
How to cover a Trump for president campaign.
Sad.
One of the Harris-Walz campaign slogans now is, "We're not going back." But we just went back today. We went back 9 years in the press coverage of the campaign, the media coverage.
Sad.
Donald Trump gets credit from the people he lied to today for lying to them. They appreciate it.
You hear this? His supporters and members of the media, they like it when Donald Trump lies to them. This is crazy. This is craziness, ladies and gentlemen. Right here in front of our very eyes, a 78-year-old man with dementia, frontal dementia, all right, wearing a diaper, you know he does, all right, and has been convicted. He's allowed to get away with lying to his supporters. His supporters love it.
Reporters understandably and incorrectly believe that the most important thing a candidate can do is answer their questions. But they don't know what an answer actually is. Words spoken after their question marks are not necessarily answers and are never answers when they come from Donald Trump.
Y'all don't know what an answer is. That's the cat's out of the bag, man. See, I know now. Y'all don't even know what an answer is. You just think a question is asked and someone says something is an answer. Isn't this funny how this is all coming out right before the election? See, Mag, I told you, you might not like this live because we're going to expose you for what you are. A bunch of liars, a bunch of hypocrites. And as far as I'm concerned, you're really not that intelligent.
There are rumblings in the news media now about Kamala Harris as a presidential candidate not doing what Donald Trump did today.
Oh.
Stand up in front of reporters and take their questions.
Oh.
And some of the tinier minds in the news media continue to give credit to Donald Trump for standing up and lying in response to every single question they ask.
Wow.
A lie is not an answer. Donald Trump never answers reporters' questions.
Can we all say this? Let's all say this together. A lie is not an answer. Can we all say this together? A lie is not an answer. All right? So no, I don't want to talk to a bunch of liars when I'm on this app because it's not an answer. It's not adding to anything that I'm trying to do. It's just a bunch of nasty, evil stuff you guys are doing to try to get away from being held accountable. Thank you, Lawrence.
Anyone in the news media who tells you that Donald Trump has answered reporters' questions and Kamala Harris hasn't is lying to you.
Okay, anybody who's telling us Donald Trump is answering questions and Vice President Kamala Harris isn't, they're lying to you. Because Donald Trump has still, to this day, never answered any questions that we've asked him. Any of them. All he does is repeat the same lies. Talking about he wants to debate Kamala Harris 3 times. Shh. You better go learn something, Donald Trump. You better go learn something.
They're too stupid to know that they're lying to you because they don't know what an answer is.
They don't.
Donald Trump answered no questions today. None. He stood up there in a room where he made sure the reporters' questions could not be heard by the TV audience. And so when he spoke, the TV audience had no idea what the question was.
Wow.
Most of the questions were terrible. The silliest possible questions you could ask. Questions about campaign strategy.
Oh.
What a waste of a moment with a convicted felon former president to ask questions like that. Here's one question. Mr. President, can you tell us a bit more about your upcoming interview with Elon Musk? That was an actual question to Donald Trump today.
Wow.
Question. What do you think of Kamala Harris not picking Josh Shapiro as her VP? Most of the questions were wasted questions like that. And so Donald Trump could just ramble about anything that came to mind, including lying, of course, about the size of his crowds. And the biggest lie he now tells about the size of his crowds is the lie about which of his crowds was his biggest crowd. He now claims that the crowd that gathered to hear him try to overthrow the presidential election on January 6th was his biggest crowd ever.
Wow.
It wasn't. Investigations have estimated that that crowd was about 53,000 people. Today, Donald Trump said that the biggest crowd he's ever spoken to, that was it. He actually had a much bigger crowd on his inauguration day, but that was still a smaller crowd than Barack Obama's inauguration day, so he had to lie about that too at the time. Today, Donald Trump said that his January 6th speech attracted a bigger crowd than Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech in Washington in 1963, the most famous speech ever delivered in Washington by someone who was not president of the United States. Martin Luther King's crowd was 5 times the size of Donald Trump's crowd on January 6th. I know it can sound almost tedious that I am fact-checking Donald Trump's crowd size lies today.
Go ahead, get
But
him.
that's the way Donald Trump wants it to feel. He has been telling crowd size lies for 9 years, and he wants to wear the news media down to the point where they just accept it. And he has won because no one in that room fought him on that in any way today or on anything else. They did not fight a single lie that he told in that room today. It was the tamest collection of reporters asking questions that you could ever see. Are they afraid of Donald Trump? Are they afraid of the Trump campaign banning them from opportunities to have Donald Trump lie to them in the future? Now, I'm not advocating that reporters be combative with Donald Trump or anyone. I don't see the need for that. I really don't, even with Donald Trump. But how can you be so tame and timid in the presence of Donald Trump when you do this?
Look at what they did. Now listen, he's pointing out how they sit there and lay on their backs for Donald Trump when he gets out there on national television and spouts those lies. Lies that people in my chat right now, you see these Trump supporters in my chat right now, they're crying right now. They're terrified because I'm exposing them for what they are, right? The same media will sit there and lay down for Donald Trump, but then when they get Joe Biden in front of a camera, listen to how the media treats Joe Biden.
Why are you refusing the names of the leaders?
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter?
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guaranteed did not.
But that's what counsel said.
No, I did not say that.
Okay.
He did not say that.
Mr. President,
Let me answer your question. The fact of the matter is, what I didn't want repeated, I didn't want him to know, and I didn't read it to him, was I had written a long memorandum to President Obama why we should not be in Afghanistan. And it was multiple pages. And so what I was referring to, I said classified. I should have said should be private because it was a contact between the president and the vice president as to what was going on. That's what it is referring to. It was not classified information in that document. That was not classified.
Donald Trump did not hear that sound today. He did not hear that screaming.
Ain't that something?
If Donald Trump gets back in the White House, he will never hear that sound from those people, never. If Vice President Harris stands in front of those same reporters, do you think they will be as tame and reserved and polite as they were with Donald Trump today?
No.
Or will it look like this?
The president, I can tell you, has seen a neurologist 3 times as it's connected to a physical that he gets every year that we provide to all of you.
it's a very basic direct question.
Hold on, wait a second.
8 times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
That's what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I'm telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
We should have kept that video rolling because they kept yelling at her.
Wow.
You're not answering the question. They were outraged. But she was actually answering the question. They don't know what an answer is. And what they were pursuing turned out to be a lie.
Wow.
The next day, not one of them had a single question about what they were just screaming about in the White House press briefing room.
Wow.
Because there was never anything to the story that they were pursuing. It turns out a doctor who's a Parkinson's specialist visited the White House a few times, as that doctor had been doing for years before the Biden presidency, and that doctor never once visited the White House to treat President Biden. And all the wrath of those reporters in that room that you just saw, all the wrath that they put into those questions just evaporated. Because they were completely wrong, and they never apologized for their misplaced anger in their treatment of Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Not one of them dared to yell at Donald Trump today, not one of them. Not one of them dared to yell, "You're not answering the question."
Exactly.
So the special treatment Donald Trump gets from the Supreme Court and elsewhere extends tragically and harmfully, and always has, to much of the press corps.
You see what's going on here? Donald Trump is being allowed to get away with being a rambling liar. Nobody seems to be really questioning this man except for out here on TikTok. You know what we do. But you supporters, y'all don't even know what an answer is. All you do is whenever Donald Trump says something, think, well, you know what? That's the truth. And you run with it. The cat's out of the bag. We understand MAGA doesn't know what the heck an answer is. And we understand the media is giving Trump a lot of passes. Why are they talking about President Biden and his cognitive issues, but they're not panning the camera over to Donald Trump, who continues to ramble about ridiculous things?
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Okay, they say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter? He must be cognitively in trouble. No. No, these are real stories. Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lamb is a lovely man. He wants to have you for dinner. He'd like to have you for dinner.
That doesn't warrant a neurologist to visit Donald Trump to make sure everything's okay upstairs. That doesn't warrant it. The sharks with the batteries, the repeated rambling and the lies, none of this seems to trigger anybody to go, perhaps something is wrong with this 78-year-old convicted felon who continues to run for president. This is, to me, one of the biggest hypocrisies going on right now. But Lawrence, thank you so much for pointing out this hypocrisy that's currently going on, all right?
Happened when Donald Trump was asked a good question by NBC's Garrett Haake. Question: would you direct the FDA to revoke access to mifepristone? Here is what Donald Trump said to that yes or no question.
All right, any of you Trump supporters, all right? So he was asked, would you direct the FDA to revoke access to mifepristone? That was a yes or no question. And I want you Trump supporters to understand, we deal with this on TikTok all the time when we ask you yes or no questions, all right? You can't do it. You just can't do it. Listen to how Donald Trump answered this question.
Which, no matter how many times you read this answer, is not an answer.
Here it goes.
Trump. Sure, you could do things that would supplement, absolutely. And those things are pretty open and humane. But you have to be able to have a vote. After all, all I want to do is give everybody a vote. And the votes are taking place right now as we speak. But it's very good. There are many things on a humane basis that you can do outside of that, but you also have to give a vote. And the people are going to have to decide. words Donald Trump spoke to those reporters in response to that clear, simple, and important yes or no question were an insult to everyone in that room, and they took the insult. Nothing in those words was an answer, nothing. Donald Trump did not answer questions today. Don't let anyone tell you that lie, that Donald Trump answered questions. He did not. He never does. Anyone who tells you that Donald Trump answered reporters' questions is lying to you. And anyone who tells you that is not smart enough to know what an answer is.
Any questions? Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Now, you can go watch the full interview. But I think for the sake of this show, we all understand what happened yesterday. Donald Trump got on national television, basically said his goodbyes, and the media didn't check him on any of his lies. All right? And so now we're in a situation where I believe going forward, you will see the media continue to attack Vice President Harris and her VP pick, Tim Walz. All right. But when it comes to Donald Trump and his lackeys, they'll continue to just sit there and take it on their backs. All right. And this is why we get out here on social media and we combat these liars in real time. So they can't walk around and act like they don't know what type of time we're on. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor on a Friday morning that we do this. All right. Because we don't have all day to play around with these knuckleheads. All right, we got to get down to business. Join me in giving Donald Trump and the media that continues to allow him to get away with being a 78-year-old convicted felon with frontal dementia, all right, that loves to lie and ramble, all right, and he's a treasonous traitor, all right. They let him get away with all of that without trying to hold him accountable, and instead they attack Kamala Harris, President Biden, and so on, all right. Join me in giving these hypocrites a round of boos and shame.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
All right, and I see some folks in the chat are upset right now. Maybe you didn't hear me at the top of the show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Like I said, I don't allow you Trump supporters to be victims around Zeus, all right? Because as far as I'm concerned, you're the harassers and the abusers. I won't allow you to get in the box and disrespect Vice President Harris. I won't allow it. At the end of the day, it's not on me to try to defend your lies, all right? It's on you to act like civilized human beings, and I know most of you can't because your minds are stuck so far up Trump's you-know-what. Vice President Kamala Harris's 24 presidential campaign issued a scathing rebuke of Donald Trump's Thursday press conference, which was mostly an hour-long rant from the former president consisting of numerous jabs at his opponents and countless false claims. All right. According to USA correspondents, Harris' campaign with a lengthy response to Trump's very good, very normal press conference reads this. And what you all have to understand is this. Vice President Kamala Harris, she knows how to check Donald Trump. All right. She's unaliving him with condescension after his meltdown. Listen to how she does this. All right. This is what she says. Donald Trump. This is what Vice President Kamala Harris says. Listen up. Donald Trump took a break from taking a break to put on some pants and host a public meltdown. We have a lot to say about it. Here are some initial thoughts with more to come. He hasn't campaigned all week. He isn't going to a single swing state this week, but he sure is mad Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are getting bigger crowds across the battlegrounds. The facts were hard to track and harder to find in Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago meltdown this afternoon. He lied, He attacked the media. He made excuses for why he's off the campaign trail. We worked to pin down reality so Donald Trump, bless his heart, doesn't have to. And here are the facts. We had 12,000 and 15,000 people in Wisconsin and Michigan yesterday, respectively, not 2,000. The ABC debate is September 10th, not the 25th. People have spoken to bigger crowds than Donald Trump. Obama, Clinton, literally anyone at Lollapalooza, Coachella, the World Cup, and so on. January 6th was decidedly nothing like Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And Trump did not get a bigger crowd than Martin Luther King Jr. on that historic day. There was famously not a, quote, peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election, which Donald Trump fought to overturn famously. And by the way, 5 police officers lost their life because of January 6th. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Vice President Kamala Harris, prosecutor versus convicted felon, she's making it crystal clear to Donald Trump. No matter what you do, bro, I got you and I'm going to get you. And I'm going to prosecute you in front of the American people with the truth, an overwhelming amount of truth. And you know what I think she's doing? She says, I'm going to do it just like Zeus does, right? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Donald Trump and his campaign once again another round of, you guessed it, boos and shame, because they still don't understand that Vice President Kamala Harris, while she's out campaigning, still is keeping her eye on this criminal. And everything he says and does, she's going to make sure the American people know the truth. Let's give him a round of boos and shame. Yeah.
Silence, you MAGA.
You know, I often talk about the ultimate MAGA reward. Everyone knows the ultimate MAGA reward is jail, and if you do not get your soul right, hell. This is just a quick update and a reminder to every single Trump supporter that if you do not get out of that cult, you will end up like all of the other supporters, owing somebody a lot of money on your way to prison, all right? Or both. Judge orders the MyPillow mogul Mike Lindell to pay attorney fees to the winner of the Prove Mike Wrong contest. All right. A judge ordered Mike Lindell to pay the attorney fees of a man who won his Prove Mike Wrong contest. Lindell owes Robert Zeidman $4,500 in attorney fees. A Thursday court order says, and a judge has already ordered Lindell to pay this man $5 million in prize money. All right, so I just want you guys to understand, MAGA continues to take L's. They're not winners, they're losers. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? Join me in giving Mike Lindell a round of boos and shame, because he's once again showing the American people why they should not support Donald Trump.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
All right, another one. He should just drop out. This is very sad. Kamala reactions roll in as 78-year-old convicted felon Donald Trump tries to shimmy back into the spotlight. All right, and we've all known this. We all know this. Even though the U.S. presidential race has already included an unaliving attempt, a historic withdrawal, and the unprecedented ascent of a new candidate, it still continues to heat up. This time, the fans have been flamed by Donald Trump, who has begun using a new nickname for his opponent, Kamala Harris, much to the internet's dismay. For context, the former president and current GOP candidate repeatedly referred to Harris as Kamala in a pair of posts on Truth Social on August 5th. Over the course of the next 2 days, he used the term an additional 7 times in the kind of posting spree that gives Marjorie Trader Greene a run for her money. All right. Of course, Trump is no stranger to these tactics, but hurling terms like this just doesn't seem to be working. All right. It's worth noting that Trump hasn't yet spoken the word out in public, so we don't know the correct pronunciation. He has previously tried out a few other nicknames for Kamala, like Lion and Laughing, but they haven't quite stuck like Kamala, at least. All right. And so regardless of its origins and meaning, whether it's simply more evidence that Trump is incoherent, right, or maybe experiencing dementia, the reaction has been not so good. Some say this knucklehead has lost his touch. All right. He looks miserable dancing with these influencers. We know who this was. And Kamala is the best he has to call her. He should drop out. This is very sad. How many of you think Donald Trump should drop out? Let's go. I agree. We all think he should drop out. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Kamala is literally running against a kindergartner. Trump is a schoolyard bully. Mentally, Trump is still a kindergartner, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show you that, across this country, and I think these lives are actually working. Across this country, people are aware that it's elder abuse to keep Donald Trump on the campaign trail. Like I said, he really should be laying in bed somewhere, tending to his wound, because they say his ear got blown off, right? He should be laying in a bed, taking his medication, and just, sailing into the sunset, all right? But instead, it's this elder abuse thing. This guy, I don't even know why they continue to make him get up and campaign. I know why he's not campaigning, because he's 78 years old. All right. He doesn't have it like he used to. All right. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? There's some Trump supporters in here. There's some Trump supporters in here, and they're really sad. They're saying, Zeus, please, Zeus, don't send Donald Trump to hell again. Please don't do it, Zeus. We get it. But you know what? Maybe you still don't get it, so I'm going to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Donald Trump and his supporters once again straight to hell by giving them another round of, you guessed it, booze and shame! See, the thing is here, ladies and gentlemen, I have no reason to get on TikTok and lie to you, all right? I'm saying these things and I'm doing all of this to help you all brace yourself for impact come this November, all right? And this is just a heads up, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news, Nancy Pelosi says Republicans privately told her that Democrats have to beat Donald Trump so that the GOP can get a fresh start. So this is, at first I was going to ignore this. But there's this thing called Republicans for Harris. How many of you heard of this Republicans for Harris thing? All right. And like I said, this November, a lot of you Trump supporters, you're going to think the election was rigged because the numbers are going to be unbelievable. All right. So that's why I want you to take note of this, all right? Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi claims that members of the Republican Party have told her they want to see Donald Trump and J.D. Vance defeated in the 2024 presidential election. According to Pelosi, some Republicans have approached her and said, quote, "You have to beat them in the general because we can't beat them in the primary. And then we will come back to our debate on the issue." The California Congresswoman, 84, made her comments during an August 7th interview with MSNBC. Quote, "The Republican Party has been hijacked and is now a cult, and they should take it back because a republic is needed. A republic needs a strong Republican Party," Pelosi told reporters. All right. Adding that the GOP has previously done great things for this country. Quote, "So in any event, we just have to win the election," she concluded. Let's go, Nancy Pelosi. The writing's on the wall, MAGA. America has had enough of you, all right? And like I said, this election, the Democrats are not going to vote for Donald Trump. But what's going to be more fascinating is the number of independents that aren't going to vote for Donald Trump, and especially the number of real Republicans that are not going to vote for Donald Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Donald Trump and his supporters once again another round of applause, because we know how this is going to go. They're going to get beat real bad in November, but they're going to get on TikTok They're going to get on social media and cry like a bunch of howling dogs, right? Let's give them a round of boos and shame. I see we got some MAGA demons in the chat. Okay, listen to you. To you Trump supporters in my chat, do me a huge favor if you don't mind. Could you just zip it? All right. I don't want you polluting my chat with your lies. All right. Good morning. All right. I do not want to see another lie in my chat right now from MAGA, because as far as I'm concerned, you have zero, and I do mean this, zero credibility. What did you just say, right? Oh, Ronnie, you think that, Ronnie? Come on up here, Ronnie, real quick, if you don't mind, Ronnie. Ronnie says the Democratic Party are full of communists. All right, so Ronnie, could you come on up here and put a little meat on the bone, Ronnie? Because I would hate to have my moderators find you and put you in a straitjacket. All right, Ronnie. See, the thing is, every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these Trump supporters. See, ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie is too terrified to get in the box and put some meat on the bone. All right, so what we're going to do for Ronnie, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to send him straight to hell. Moderators, if you see Ronnie in the chat, just go ahead and mute him for 5 good minutes, all right? So he can't say anything, all right? I want him to just listen to Zeus ministering to his soul, all right? Because Ronnie doesn't know any better. Ronnie has been conned. He's been hoodwinked and bamboozled by Donald Trump and the MAGA demon that Donnie possesses, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Ronnie what he deserves, a round of boos of shame. Anybody else want to follow Ronnie's lead? Anybody else want to follow Ronnie's lead and start lying in the chat? Moderators, if you see the lies, pin them up right now, because I don't want to see them, and I don't think anyone in the chat wants to. We only want people who love truth to be able to speak, all right? All right? Not right now. Not while Zeus is delivering this truth. No. All right? I don't want to see it. I really don't. All right? Moving along, ladies and gentlemen, I got to, normally I cover January 6th, and so we're gonna segue into January 6th, all right, ladies and gentlemen, and this is just another update, all right. Jesus Christ, hold on, this is another update, all right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, let me see, is it, it's with a heavy heart that I have some bad news about one of those so-called hostages. A January 6th rioter is back in custody after threatening Justice Barrett and Garland, according to the FBI. A man facing charges already for his involvement with the January 6th Capitol riot was detained this week for allegedly making threats on social media posts targeting public officials. Why are we not surprised? Those mentioned in the post include Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett and U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, among other officials. Among the accused architects of the insurrection include former Donald Trump advisor Peter Navarro, who made his first post-4-month-long sentence appearance at the RNC last month, and former Trump chief strategist Steve Bannon, who started the same sentence in July. According to a court order, a judge granted Department of Justice prosecutors' request to rearrest Bradley Nelson, who was already out on bail from his first arrest in March of 2023 in connection with the Capitol breach. Prosecutors said Nelson, get this, posted an image in June of 2024 of Barrett with a disturbing caption. According to prosecutors, the post read, quote, "I pray to God with all my blank heart that somebody does something to your throat from ear to ear, you worthless piece of blank." Wow. This is why I do what I do, because you Trump supporters, y'all don't want to acknowledge these people are the ones voting for Donald Trump. These are the same people you're standing shoulder to shoulder with. So now he's threatening the judge, this Amy Coney Barrett, Supreme Court Justice. Wow. Oh, no one before me. Stop it. This is MAGA. I've always maintained the position that a lot of the violence MAGA is complaining about isn't what they're saying it is. It isn't the migrants. It's MAGA on MAGA violence. This is MAGA on MAGA violence once again. The post was allegedly made an hour after the Supreme Court issued its decision on Fisher versus the United States, a ruling that could help him evade his charges related to January 6th breach. Barrett sided with 3 liberal justices in a dissenting opinion. Nelson also allegedly posted an image in July of Merrick Garland with crosshairs drawn on his head, as well as an image in February of 2024 New York Attorney General Letitia James with crosshairs on her head, prosecutors said. Nelson allegedly commented on the image of James that he would, quote, give every expletive thing I have to watch that blank heads explode, or at least the back of her head blown out. The most dangerous people in this country, ladies and gentlemen, are Trump supporters. They are domestic terrorists. When they get on TikTok and they start wham, the border, I can't even entertain it because the first thing I think about is January 6th and stuff like this. All they know is how to act like terrorists. These aren't patriots. These are traitors. In June, Nelson also posted videos making combative and confrontational remarks about 2 FBI agents involved in his January 6th case, saying he wants to get into the, quote, MMA ring with you 2 pieces of blank. You call this backing the blue? This isn't backing the blue. This is attacking the blue. The judge says Nelson will have to appear at some point in front for a revocation hearing to re-examine his detention. While the date has not been set, the court finds sufficient basis for the detention for that hopefully brief period due to Nelson's escalating rhetoric, the judge wrote. The judge expressed most concern for the FBI agents targeted in Nelson's post because Nelson knows them personally and lives nearby their place of work. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we got to continue to bring the truth because they're going to try to intimidate us and stop people from getting to those ballot boxes this November. And this is another example of what I'm talking about. Mr. Bradley Nelson, since you want to be a soldier for Donald J. Trump so bad, you know what we got to do, ladies and gentlemen? Let's send him off. Let's go ahead and give him a round of boos and shame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Bradley Nelson a round of boos and shame because clearly he likes jail. He's already been arrested for January 6th. So what does he do? He does something even more egregious to make sure he has no other option but prison. And he's getting it, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't feel bad for this. This is what he wants. This is part of the ultimate MAGA reward. Let's give him a round of boos and shame.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
All right.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Yep.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, last topic, and then I'm going to open up these boxes, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly what this is. This is January 6th related. We got another update about a seditionist, treasonous traitor that's been brought to justice. All right, but before we move forward, I saw a MAGA demon in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, saying something very, very sick. All right, let's see. Common Sense Land, come on up in the box real quick, if you don't mind. You said something nasty about Zeus. Yeah, Common Sense, Lindy. Okay, you got him, Mr. Silk, all right? Seems like you ended up in one of those straitjackets. The only way out of that straitjacket is if you accept that invitation. And it looks to me like you're too terrified to do it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's send Common Sense straight to hell. Give him a round of boos and shame.
Silence, you
All right, we got another update about a seditionist, treasonous traitor who has been brought to justice. All right, and what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, I'll help you Trump supporters very quickly understand why Donald Trump is responsible for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. First things first, we all remember what was going on in the country on or around the time that Donald Trump was campaigning to be the president. We had civil unrest, all right, and we had a nasty pandemic, all right, and Donald Trump was campaigning against President Biden, all right, but you know, at the same time, he knew with all of that going on, there was just no way in heck he was going to be able to win. So what did he do? He decided to engage in some schemes. One of the schemes was obviously the fake elector scheme, right? And then the other one was convincing his supporters that he really won the election, all right? So you know what he did? When it was election night and the results came out, did Donald Trump concede, ladies and gentlemen? No. Instead, he did this. Look at this magic trick he did.
North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And so we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
And the truth is
our goal now is to ensure the integrity.
And the truth of the matter is this, MAGA, you didn't win the 2020 election, all right? You didn't. And that was just Donald Trump's attempt to get you to believe that you won. So what did Donald Trump do, ladies and gentlemen, now that he's got his supporters to believe he won the election? Does anyone remember what he did? Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remind you real quickly, all right? This is what he did, MAGA. This is what he did. Here we go. Here we go. This is what he did. Oh my goodness, it's getting so hot over here, all right? This is what he did, MAGA, all right? Remember this, he sent you all a nice little invitation. Attention, all Trump supporters. I lost to Joe Biden is what he said, all right? And I need you all to do something very special to me. I need you all to send me some money that you got, all right? Whatever you have in your bank account, send the money to me, all right? I take checking account. I take checking. Go into your savings. I take crypto. Whatever you got, just send me the money. That would make me feel real good. But then I need you to do me a favor. I need you to meet me in Washington D.C. at this big protest that I'm hosting called "Stop the Steal." Be there will be wild, right? And believe it or not, because his supporters don't think for themselves, they said, you know what? This is an opportunity of a lifetime to be wet and wild with our dad. Why not? And so one by one, they all decided to make that trek to Washington, D.C. And, you know, since they don't have any money to get to Washington, D.C., you got to understand, a lot of them decided to, you know, figure out a way to get there. And one of their preferred methods of transportation, ladies and gentlemen, were these U-Hauls, all right? And so these are white supremacists that are in the back of these U-Hauls. You know the groups, right? The Patriot Front, the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, the Oath Keepers. These are the white supremacist groups that crammed themselves in the back of these U-Hauls to make that trek to Washington, D.C. to be with their Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump, on January 6th. All right, I'm not making any of this up. You can go look this up yourself. So when they made it to Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, you know, they just can't go inside and do their thing. They got to get some updates. They got to get some orders, right? And we all remember it, right? When they got to Washington, D.C., they received an update from Lieutenant Marge. How many of you know who this woman is? This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. And as you can see, she's, some call her 3 toes. Look at those toes, all right? And she's standing 6 toes down for Donald Trump, all right? And what did this MAGA demon say to all those Trump supporters who had gathered there at the Capitol on January 6th? What did she say to them, ladies and gentlemen? Well, hopefully this jogs your memory.
If we have a sea of people, if we shut down the streets, if we shut down everything, if we flood the Capitol building, flood all the government buildings, go inside, these are public buildings, we own them. We own these buildings. Do you understand that? We own the buildings and we pay all the people that work in the buildings.
You hear that? See, that's a lie, MAGA. Think about it. You don't have the lease to any of those buildings. You don't have the title or the deed to any of those buildings. But this is Donald Trump and his soldiers gaslighting you into believing you have access to stuff you really don't have access to. Right? Oh, no, you didn't, Your Majesty. You didn't pay for a thing. All right? And stop the lying. And so now that Marjorie has convinced these supporters, like Your Majesty, that they own the building. Now we need to get Donald Trump to give you all the go. We need Donald Trump to give you all the go to go ahead and attack the Capitol. All right. But before that happens, we must once again revisit a situation that took place. All right. So Donald Trump knows his soldiers are waiting for him at the ellipse, and he decides to mosey on into the office where his vice president at the time, Mike Pence, was. And he moseys on into there and he says, Mike Pence, buddy, old pal, I got everything in motion. All right. I got the fake elector scheme. All right. MAGA, say scheme for me real quickly, if you don't mind. MAGA, say scheme. He says, I got the fake elector scheme in motion, and I got my soldiers waiting for me at the ellipse. All I need you to do, Mike Pence, is that thing I asked you to do. Don't you dare certify those votes for Joe Biden. You know, Mike Pence, he got up out of his chair. He stood up to the president. You should imagine this, right? And he says, Mr. President, unfortunately, I can't do that for you. Because here's the thing. In order for me to do that, it would require me to place you above the United States of America's Constitution. A document that our founding fathers and the framers fought and bled for. A document that even to this day, Americans continue to fight and bleed for. And frankly, Mr. President, with all due respect, I don't believe anyone asking me to do such a thing is fit to be president of these United States. Right? This is what his own vice president had to say to him. You don't believe me? Well, we got the receipts, ladies and gentlemen. We have the receipts.
Irrespective of the indictment, I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election. And then on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution, that I chose the Constitution, and I always will. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be President of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be President of the United States again. And what the President maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly the President was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear. Now I hope that on this matter of January 6th that it wouldn't come to this, because I do believe that this is going to further ignite the divide in the country. It'll be up to the government now to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this actually represented criminal activity. But what I want the American people to know is that I know in my heart of hearts that I did my duty under the Constitution that day.
And Mike, we know you did your duties under the Constitution that day as well. All right? So now that we know what Mike Pence did, we must get back into the Donald Trumps. All right? You know what Donald Trump did? He leaned into Mike Pence, violated his airspace, and he says, you know what, Pence? You know what your problem is? You're a little too honest. And he called him the nasty P word. The same P word you heard him using in that infamous Access Hollywood tape you so-called Christians heard him use right before you went and voted for him. That's why I don't believe any of you are real Christians. I don't even think the ones that call themselves Christians, I don't even think you even know what a Bible is. I don't even think you've read a single verse in that thing. So he leaves Mike Pence and he says, I'll take care of this myself. Security, take me to the ellipse to meet up with my troops. Right? Sir, those people are armed to the T. They got military grade equipment. They got tactical gear. They got things that'll electrocute you and stun you. We don't think it's safe for you to be there. Donald Trump looks at his Secret Service and he says, excuse you, those people aren't bringing that stuff there to harm me. All right? Take me to be with my troops. Secret Service, they thought to themselves and they said, yeah, you know what? This is before the Butler incident, right? You know what? He has a point. We should go ahead and take him to the ellipse. And that's what they did. And so they took him to the ellipse, ladies and gentlemen, and you all remember this infamous moment in American history. This is going to be an iconic photo, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. When Donald Trump got onto the stage at the ellipse, and what did he do when he got on the stage, ladies and gentlemen? He encouraged his supporters to do what? Engage in heinous acts of violence. Look at that. He has a trench coat on. All right, and leather gloves. I remember when I was watching this on television, I went between MSNBC, Fox, and CNN and some of my local news networks to see if this was real. You see these people climbing all over buildings and stuff like that, right? But before all of that, you saw this moment where Donald Trump was standing there. And I saw those leather gloves and I said, no, it's not the trench coat and the leather gloves. This cannot end well. This man is about to commit a terrorist attack on the United States. That's what I thought. And he started to speak. And as soon as he started to speak, I said, this is not going well. He actually encouraged his supporters to engage in heinous acts of violence. Hold on.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
So he's encouraging them to engage in heinous acts of violence. And it wasn't just him that was encouraging the supporters to do this. It was also other Republicans, all right?
Who hides evidence? Criminals hide evidence, not honest people. So, over the next 10 days, we get to see the machines that are crooked, the ballots that are fraudulent, and if we're wrong, we will be made fools of. But if we're right, a lot of them will go to jail.
Well, we saw how that ended.
So, let's have trial by combat.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
So you hear him and his soldiers rallying up the troops to get ready to proceed and attack the United States Capitol. And that's exactly what they did. There was nothing peaceful or patriotic about what was said at that rally or at that speech. And we got proof of that because one of his soldiers that day was caught on a hot mic, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we caught her on a hot mic and just listen to what she was saying. How many of you know who this woman was right here, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ashley Babbitt, right? Listen to some of the things that she was ranting about, all right, if you don't mind.
Where is everybody? Huh? You got, where is Kamala? Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this mark. You know what? We have thousands of people on the other side of the border. Your people can't get to work. Our economy is going to take an absolute tank because you guys refuse to choose America over your stupid political party.
There's an estimated over 3 million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on the ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue hatred to Trump. And it was amazing. We could see the president talk. We are now walking down the inaugural path to the Capitol building. 3 million plus people.
That was Ashley Babbitt, ladies and gentlemen, talking right before this moment in American history. This is the moment right before Ashley Babbitt lost her life, all right? She's inside of the Capitol, and she loses her life. Listen to this. A woman Donald Trump had sworn to protect lost her life in the battlefield because of Donald J. Trump's big, nasty lie. And what did Donald Trump do when he found out that he had lost one of his foot soldiers in the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen? Does anyone know what Donald Trump did when he found out Ashley Babbitt had lost her life?
Is that Donald Trump was passed a note after one of the rioters was shot in the Capitol and was made clear that this person had been shot, this woman had been shot in the chest. And the valet says that he offered no reaction upon learning that. He kept sitting in the chair watching the violence unfurl on TV.
A non-reaction at the death of Ashley Babbitt.
You hear that, MAGA? He didn't care Ashley Babbitt had lost her life. As far as he was concerned, she failed to complete the mission. Donald Trump is responsible in so many ways for Ashley Babbitt and those 5 officers that lost their life because of January 6th. See, had Donald Trump simply told his supporters the truth, that the election wasn't rigged and that he lost because he's a terrible president and he ran a terrible campaign, none of this would have happened. Ladies and gentlemen, this is January 6th. This is a crime scene that we all witnessed on national television. This wasn't a peaceful movement like BLM was. This wasn't a little tourist visit that had gone awry. This wasn't just a bunch of innocent Americans walking in the Capitol and getting caught up in some random situation. No, this was a crime scene planned and organized by Donald J. Trump and his inner circle. All right? All the way down to his foot soldiers. And you know exactly who they are. The white supremacist groups and all those other people who showed up at the United States Capitol with the gallows and other types of weapons to cause nothing but harm and damage to the United States government. All right? So when they get out here and they try to act like it wasn't a big deal, I want you all to know, no, January 6th was a domestic terrorist attack, and we all remember it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I have another update about another seditionist, treasonous traitor that's been brought to justice, all right? Bear with me if you don't mind. Who is this right here? Who is this right here, ladies and gentlemen? An El Paso man is sentenced to prison for his role in the January 6th Capitol attack. All right? Bear with me. An El Paso man was sentenced to more than 2 years in federal prison for assaulting a police officer and other crimes committed when he participated in the January 6th riot by President Donald Trump supporters seeking to halt the certification of President Joe Biden's election victory. David Rene Arenado, 48, probably one of those Latins for Trump, was sentenced on Thursday, August 8th, to a maximum of 2 years, 9 months in federal prison. Do we have a photo of this MAGA demon right here, ladies and gentlemen? That's the best we can get. All right, we'll work with it. All right. He pled guilty to 8 federal charges in connection with the Capitol riot. He is the only El Pasoan arrested in connection with the insurrection. I like how that sounds. Arrested in connection with the insurrection. Arenado was present in the courtroom during the sentencing hearing. He remains free on a personal reconnaissance bond and is permitted to self-surrender to the U.S. Bureau of Prisons. Federal court records state no information has been released on when he must turn himself over to the prison officials to begin his term or where he will serve his sentence. His attorneys, federal public defenders Andrew Steele and John Phillip, could not be immediately reached for comment. The sentence closely matches what federal prosecutors had requested. They found his activity and his participation in the riot included assaulting a Capitol police officer. The sentencing hearing was held before U.S. District Judge Royce C. Lambert in Washington, D.C., all right? And he pled guilty to those 8 charges on January 3rd as part of a plea agreement with federal prosecutors. The charges he pleaded guilty and sentenced received are civil disorder, all right? Assaulting and resisting and impeding certain officers, entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly or disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, engaging in physical violence, all right, in restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, act of physical violence in the Capitol grounds or building, parading and demonstrating or picketing in a Capitol building. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I mean when I say you're going to get the ultimate MAGA reward for worshiping Donald Trump's. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? We got to send him off the right way, right? First, let's give this Latin for Trump David what he wants. A round of, you guessed it, boos and shame. All right, and since he wants to be a soldier so bad in Donald Trump's Confederate Army, right? He wants to be a soldier. Let's send him off the old-fashioned way. You're a disgrace.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Do you Trump supporters understand that this man lured you to the United States Capitol, set you all up to get whacked, and then after you got whacked, got on national television and gaslit you? That message wasn't for me. That message wasn't for the Democrats. That message was for you, MAGA. He took your money, invited you to Washington, D.C., let you get whacked, all right, and then told you you don't even represent this country. How can you really vote for this man and then try to say you're intelligent? It doesn't work like that. That's why I say you're in a cult. That's why not just me, all these people in the chat, read these comments. These are independent, free-thinking individuals saying the same thing I'm saying, MAGA. You're in a cult and you're dangerous. You're a danger to yourself. You're a danger to others. Because you don't think. How are you going to let this man lure you to the Capitol, play you like that? Sitting in a jail cell for Donald Trump. Why are you in jail? Why are you in here? Oh, I went to the Capitol in January. Well, why did you do that? Well, because I believe Donald Trump when he said the election was stolen. Well, how's that working out for you? Well, I'm sitting in jail right now. Yeah, it's not working out for you. You had a girlfriend? Yeah, I had a girlfriend. She's not your girlfriend anymore. Oh, no, she's my girlfriend. She's still calling me. That doesn't mean she's still with you. She's moved on. You're not able to do a single thing for her. Yeah. Your family, you're not even able to help your families anymore. You did all of this for a man that claims to be a billionaire and lies all the time. I don't feel sorry for you, Trump supporters. Like I said, you brought this on yourselves. Even the 40 Republicans that used to work for him, they're out here telling you this man is the worst thing ever. Don't support him. And guess what you delusional people do? Y'all go out and send them your money and still vote for him. And there's this thing going on right now, and I want to get this out of the way before I open up the boxes. First things first, you Trump supporters need to wake up and realize it's a big circus. Donald Trump is going to go down in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most successful ringmaster ever. Because he's arguably running the most successful circus we've ever known, existed in mankind. And you ask, Zeus, why do you say it's a circus? Because he does exactly what a clown does, right? A clown puts on makeup, right? Every day Donald Trump wakes up, he puts his orange makeup on. Ooh, don't I look so good? Clown wears a wig on its head, right? Donald Trump, every day he puts this bird's nest smack dab right there on his cranium. Don't I look so good? And you ever seen a clown that got that thing around its waist in that ridiculous outfit? Look at this guy. He puts a diaper on every day, puts on that same crumpled blue suit with that ridiculous red tie, and gets onto his social media platform and just lies to his supporters. They don't question a thing he says. Hey, I got some golden shoes today. Go and empty out your bank accounts for these golden shoes. MAGA, when the last time you needed golden shoes except for in a circus? I got water today, MAGA. The water in your faucet isn't quite like this dirty water that I got with my name on it, though. Send me your money. And you send them your money. You don't need that water except for in a circus. Trump bucks, Trump universities, Trump charities, Trump steaks, Trump diapers, Trump models. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. It's Trump, 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 Trump. He's your daddy. That's all you all know how to say. Y'all don't know another word in the dictionary other than the word, and I don't even think Trump is in the word, but you replaced all the words in the dictionary with the name Trump. How are you going to bring down the gas prices? Trump. How are you going to fix immigration? Trump. How are you going to cut down crime? Let me think. Can I phone a friend real quick? What's the answer to that? Trump. You Trump supporters are some of the most simple-minded people I've ever seen in my lifetime. Probably ever. All right? And I'm going to tell you something, you MAGA demons, right? How many of you out there have heard of the Trump train, right? You've heard of the Trump train? I had a Trump supporter come to me and say, Zeus, you need to, you know what I'm saying, get on the Trump train. I want you Trump supporters to understand this. I looked at that Trump train, and I know, you know what I say about it? That Trump train is a first-class trip straight to hell. All right? Lake of fire. All right? And you go, well, why do you mean by that, Zeus? I'm going to say it like this, and I've been saying it for quite a while. This is how it's going to end for every single one of you Trump supporters on your way to getting that ultimate MAGA reward, all right? Which is jail if you don't get your soul right, hell with a chapter 11 in between. When you take your last breath on this planet, Marcus, do you think I'm divisive? All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell the story about how this Trump train is going to end for Marcus, all right, since he wants to be a victim. Marcus, this is how that Trump train is going to end. Marcus, you're going to take your last breath on this earth, all right? And that Trump train, you're going to have your whatever belongings Donald Trump didn't take, you're going to have them with you on that Trump train on your way to the pearly gates because you think you're a Christian. That Trump train's going to stop, Marcus. And you're going to get off, and you're going to think you're getting off. You're going to grab your luggage, and you're going to head towards the exit, and security is going to stop you and say, hey, Marcus, sorry. You're not able to get into the pearly gates because thy works have been of iniquity. All right, go look that word up, Marcus. And you're going to say, no, I'm a Christian. I'm a Trump supporter. Please let me into heaven. And security is going to say, absolutely not, Marcus, because you did not worship the good Lord. You worshiped Donald J. Trump. And you've been possessed with the MAGA demon. And you're going to go, no. And then you know what security's going to do, Marcus? They're going to play all of the video footage of you on TikTok right back in front of you. And is this you, Marcus? You're going to go, yes, that's me. And go, Marcus, this is what I'm talking about. You're out here doing evil works, not good works. So get your special behind back in your seat. But before you do, you need to bow down and say, Jesus is Lord, right? You're going to get down on your knees. Oh, you're going to be crying. And then you're going to pick up your belongings and go sit down in your chair, Marcus. And you're going to be in tears. And that Trump train is going to take off. First stop, Lake of Fire. Goodbye, Marcus. Goodbye, Marcus. May you rest in hell, Marcus, where all the other MAGA demons are. Yeah. Marcus, if you don't wake up before it's too late, you're in big trouble. Your soul is on the line, Marcus, and you know it. All right, and I got a good example for you, Marcus, of someone who did wake up and came out of the cult. Listen to this woman crying. All right, listen, you can't even pay for acting like this. You know this is real, Marcus. Listen to this woman.
To the Christians, do not be deceived. Stop thinking that everybody who waves a flag and shouts freedom is your friend and a good person, because we have people like this trying to join up in the movements. I found this out the hard way. I found it out the hard way that not everybody is in things for the same reasons you are. I was in the People's Convoy, and what a fucking disappointment that ended up being. What a disappointment to find out that these people that you were with, they weren't like you. They didn't care about the country. They were a bunch of grifting motherfucking live streamers that wanted to make money off of the people in America who were hardworking and sending their money, little old ladies, old men, people who had to wait for their paychecks so they could give a little bit of money to help people drive around and shout freedom and fight for freedom. And to find out that it was really for nothing, to find out that the people involved, a lot of the people involved that are involved in this convoy right here were really bad people. They were bad people who did not care about the causes that they joined. They used them for their own profit. How sad is that? When there's people who really fucking care. There's people who really sacrifice for the causes. They sacrifice for the causes. For real. It's in their hearts. And these kinds of motherfuckers come to attach them.
You hear that? That's what happens when the MAGA demon leaves you. But you know what? She has a chance to get it right, Marcus. All right, and you do too. But you got to denounce Donald Trump and this culture in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that opens up. Let's open up these boxes and hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth. All righty then. All right, let's good morning. Good morning, G-Man. Welcome, G-Man. How are you doing, my brother?
What's up? Let me turn on my camera. Let these MAGA folks how I look like.
Oh my goodness! Let's go. Let's go.
Facts. When you put that video about they went to the J6, right?
Yeah.
Same. It was the same thing 4 years ago. Talk about F your feelings to Hillary supporters, where they were crying, put the memes on it.
Yeah, that was them.
4 years difference. Now, I think I mentioned it on your live or somebody else's live. This is when. Part of that guy in Georgia was outraged. And I told this guy that with 30 plus years, we broke a friendship because of Trump. I said Trump was a bona fide liar. If you had burdens of proof, that it is rig in Georgia and the country, bring it. Then I
Yeah.
support you. I got your 6. If not, no, don't get yourself in trouble. Somebody tries to ever care about you.
Yeah.
What he had done, he did just like the MAGA into the violence and threatened me. I say, I'm easy to find, man. I ain't scared. You want to go into that route? Want to go? You're not gonna receive that end likely. So there. Now, this they used the old strategy about the VP for Harris about his military service.
Yeah,
As a
yeah.
veteran, how dare you? Use the same thing with John Kerry. John Kerry, he got issues to similar about his military status. Now, VP Hans, he did 4 years active duty in the Marines. I did 4 years active duty in the Army, and I was like 8.
Thank you for your service.
So they're enough. The dude went 20-something years before he decided to run for politics and turned to be a governor of Minnesota. He turned up that state. Very awesome. Just do your research, people. Don't follow your okie doke. As a veteran, that's the same old playbook like the one of the comments said. I get tired of this. Don't insult the intelligence, man. We do at least as an independent person, you had to be fair. And I vote Kamala.
You're gonna vote.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote all blue. Get rid of these fascists out of local states. But people pay attention.
Tell them.
You need to pay attention in your state, like in Georgia, behind the scenes, they try to pass certain rules that easily contest to vote to direct the flag. Because these Republicans, even though Brian Kemp doesn't like Trump, but he's still a typical Billy Bob. They all try to do. I call Bakers and Bitter my old school Zeus.
Yeah. I get it.
They gonna do anything that's to maintain power control. So you gotta look what's in your backyard besides the presidential race between Miss VP Harris and that draft dodger from Queens, New York.
Tell them.
I know all about that draft dodger from Queens, New York.
Why do they get on him? Why do they try to get on Tim Walz about his military service, but they ignore Donald Trump being a draft dodger? Why do you think that is?
They had nothing to come back to about Harris and that. They scared. I'm gonna tell the truth. They scared. So they scared. And as a veteran, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Now, like I mentioned last week, for
Tell
all
them.
your people on the right, turn the freaking cameras on. If you believe this host and everybody aligned, going on, have a pair, be mature enough, men or women, going up here. Now, I'm gonna ask the moms. It ain't gonna do that. Just block them. Nobody can block them. This is me, Zeus. I get tired. Every time I work hard. I live in a paycheck to paycheck. We got a lot of things that comments say unite, but then comments who do this division. Because if you accuse the person different point of view than yourself of lying, you better bring the receipts and bring some factual. But I'm gonna let you know, Zeus is nice.
Yeah.
Ant is nice.
Yeah.
A young man, Harry and Peter, nice. But
yeah.
Those truly, Zeus knows I ain't nice.
Yeah.
I'm straightforward, raw to the point, just like that person you're admired for, because we're born and raised in New York.
Tell him.
You want to go with that? Everybody, my time is up.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to hit the gym. Thank you for giving that motivation. Hit the gym.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome.
Everybody, check your voter registration and make sure you're legit, because they can do anything necessary to cheat. And
they will.
A lot of purse in Georgia. And mine's good for now, but still keep it up before the general election because it was too late. So I want everybody to have it. You know, make this live on Friday. Factual Friday. Factual Friday. Satisfy Saturday. And Fun Day Sunday. But Factual Friday on Zeus Live, people.
That's
his live on Friday because I'm
Thank
off
you.
for work. I'm seeing all nothing but facts here.
Thank
strong,
you.
my friends. And I'm going to drop somebody else coming in there.
All righty then. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that G-Man getting this show started the right way. Let's give him a round of applause. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's keep this going. All right, who do we got this time, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, we have a new contestant in the box. All right, I don't think I've met this person before. Mowgli.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can. There's a lot of background noise. Uh-oh, the live has been flagged. I don't know why, but you know, we got people in here. The live has been flagged, ladies and gentlemen. I might have to restart. Mowgli.
How come?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I did. But you know what? I'm gonna. I'm going to have to restart the live, all right?
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's not you. It's not you. All right. All right, we're going to restart, ladies and gentlemen. I shall return.